All right, we're just ending that. That was a hot mess. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Hi. We're live. We're live. We're just letting that go because that was a hot mess. Hot dumpster fire mess.
I can't hear.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Shit. Hello? No. Oh, my Lanta. Please hold, folks. Can you hear me? No. How about now?
I can hear you now. It's a little bit robot-y.
Okay. We're just going to let it play out.
Okay.
Is that okay?
It is. As long as it doesn't, I can hear you, as long as it doesn't go any further than that, because it's like...
Oh my God, love. Yeah, there was like a whole bunch of feedback, crazy feedback, and then I ended it, and then I think I broke it again. I'm going to turn you off, turn you back on. Is that better?
Not really.
No.
It's about the same.
How about now?
It's a little better.
Little better? All right.
Oh, wait, now.
Better?
Oh, now you're fine.
Okay. Hey guys, we're here. We are here. Sorry about that. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties today, but it's okay because we're here and we're going to do the dang thing. So this is my beautiful friend Summer, and Summer and I have been friends for what?
A little over a year-ish now.
Yeah. And Summer is like my TikTok bestie, and I just love you so much, and I'm so excited to finally talk with you. We've had to reschedule a few times, but we made the damn thing work today.
Yeah.
So, I am super inspired by Summer because she is like, she claimed what makes her happy, regardless of what others think. So I am so glad that she is willing to come in here and share her story and tell you what she is all about. And this floor is yours, my friend.
Well, let's see. It's been a crazy year. And you know, I have to say, the good chunk of what's going on in my life all has to do with TikTok in a weird sort of way. Like, let's be honest, like TikTok opened up a lot of things for, like, especially I know you and I in so many directions. To be able to create on there has been amazing. And to be able to be on there and like having both aspects of the two accounts that I run, one is almost at 90,000.
Jeez,
and
lady.
then the other one, you know, which is my personal, which I'm going to start a third one to, like, I have an idea for it. But on that note, like, I started watching everybody because TikTok is such a freeing place. Like, it's seeing people just be naturally who they are and not trying to be Instagram perfect, not trying to be Facebook, like, here, we're politically correct. This is all we say. This is all we do. Actually seeing people live their life really gave me an opportunity where I went, okay, like, I'm coming across things that are making me more and more curious. And I have been curious on things for my entire life, as far as really coming into who I am. I feel has evolved over the years, and it's taken every bit of my background to get to where I am now. And so now, like, going back to TikTok is seeing people being happy in their own skin and going, okay, like starting to get a little bit more curious on things where I had that inclination years ago and then I would push it off. And not because it felt wrong as far as dating went. Like, I've been married to a man, I have 3 children, and all of that felt fine to a certain extent, but I was never fully happy. I never fully felt like at peace within myself.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily feel like I was like seeking out anything. It just always felt like there was like a piece of the puzzle that wasn't really like in place. And then with TikTok, I started, coming across how you get into different zones of TikTok, whether it's dog TikTok, whether it's like, food TikTok or whatever. I fell across the lesbian TikTok. And so through that, and it wasn't just, it's lesbian, bi, gay, anything that was there, because I don't like labels and I never have in any sort of capacity. Because I think labels are very constraint, like the constraints that we will put upon ourselves because we put this label of who we are, whether we call ourselves an extrovert or an introvert, we then use that as an excuse to stay within that bubble. And as I started like watching videos and I'm going, I feel like I need to go back to where I've known I was for years and just try something out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I signed myself up on I'd already been on a dating app. I just switched over. So I just switched over, what I was looking for. And, I talked to a couple people, didn't meet anybody, and it was this all happened really quickly. And then I started talking to who is now my wife. And from the moment, like, we started talking about a week's time in person, I asked her if she wanted to meet. And our date lasted for 10 hours in a restaurant. Like,
Wow.
they didn't kick us out, so that was a bonus. Date lasted like overall like 11 hours because after we sat there and talked and talked and talked, and the conversation never stopped. And then we talked outside, and it just from that moment forward, I can say, there was a click, not just from that moment forward, from the moment like I turned around and saw her in order to like, meet to have the date. And I was like, okay, like there's something here. And as we sat there and talked, everything that came about was just, it just felt good. And like, if somebody would have told me at the beginning of this year that, hey, by the end of this year, you're going to be married, no. And secondly, it's going to be to another woman. What?
Yeah.
And so, and I don't feel like, considering she's the first person that I've ever dated that's a woman, that I don't feel like, I need to explore any other options. There's nothing like it. It was literally just there. And I haven't felt like that. Like, it's just, it's this explanation of feeling like I'm at home, I'm at peace. Like, it's just right. It's like an endless sleepover, truly with a best friend. And it's awesome. Like, and what's really cool is like the dynamic between us. Like, she's got a degree in psychology. She's working for her master's, and the communication level that we get to have with each other is truly incredible. Like, she listens to what I say, she asks questions back, and then vice versa. If there's stuff going on, like, we can actually communicate. I've never had that. Like,
Right.
It's just all feels good. And like I said, it all really came about, many things, through that avenue of exploring TikTok. And really, I'm a firm believer that everything has its purpose. Everything has its reasons, which is why I've been able to go through trauma on an extreme level and make sense of it for myself. Because if that had its purpose, then everything else does too. So looking at, how how crazy this year has been in so many ways, it's been incredible for me. Like, yeah, it's had its downsides. It's had, some of that roller coaster there, but overall, it's been a great year because different cogs had to be in place to get the whole machine to be where it is now.
Totally.
And so, like, it just feels good. Like I said, I don't feel like, as far as labels go, like, I wouldn't label like myself in one way or another when it comes to like sexuality. I'm me.
Right.
That's like, I'm me. I had to get to this place and evolve through time to be where I am now. And I truly believe, like, you know, to understand, like, the phrase love is cheesy. Like, it is. But it does have its meaning. Like, really, like, you know, I'm the happiest I've ever been within my own skin, and with my kids, and being able to show, like, hey, this is where I am now. And when people kind of question, like, hey, we got married, we joked last night about 90-day fiance with each other because here we are.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of started off as just the first day that we had our first date. By the end of it, it was a joke about people moving quickly. And then said, well, go get married right now. And then she was like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, I knew I had to back up. Otherwise, we would have done it then. So then it just kind of kept in play. And neither of us are like that. So that was what's really unique too. Like, neither of us are the type to just like jump in without that thought there. So when it came down to it, that yeah, like, we got married 4 months, just a little less than 4 months after we started dating.
And it's like, when you know,
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely, like, you did a lot of, you'd speak a lot about narcissists and abusive relationships, and you could still see that pain in your face when you would talk about it. It's like you glow every day. Like, I see it in you, like the happiness, and it warms my heart so much. Like, what was it like saying, like, claiming it? Like, you made a TikTok, and
Mm-hmm.
and I remember watching that, and I'm like, yes, like, seeing your face and just like owning it, and just, not giving two shits of who said what or who thought what, or, this is me, take it or leave it. What was that moment like for you?
Like, it was very freeing because, like I said, like, as far as labels go, like, it was not. I've always known that I have been very open with, like, my sexuality, but I was never defined. But I never talked about it. It was, you had to be really close to me to know that other part. So to actually say, like, hey, this is who I am and this is what's going on in my life, felt really good. But of course, then I had the other side, because then I had my parents who,
Yeah.
when I had to deal with that, and telling them, it went from like, okay, just silence. And I it didn't get to me in a way that, like, it was going to stop me from doing anything,
Right.
because I am 42 years old. This is my life. Like, nobody else is going to live it for me. I am tired, at the point of being this person, that I've been working on breaking for years, that would try to please everybody else. And I can't even just say, like, I would try to please everybody else. It was just keeping other people, quote unquote, happy, until, like, I got to the point where I fully understood that I can't make anybody happy. Nobody can make me happy except for myself, and as well as them. So their opinions mean absolutely nothing. And and when I announced that on TikTok, of course, like, I mean, I lost people. And
Yeah.
those are people that were there for, reasons that, as if we were just going to magically end up together, it's like, okay.
Right.
And that's fine, because those are not my people. And
Right.
and then even, I noticed that in a few other areas, and that was okay. Like, things have definitely changed. And I've gotten to a place where I am very comfortable with the fact that of losing people now at this point in time, because them going away is not a reflection of who I am. Like, I'm going to continue coming out and doing what makes me happy. And then as long as everybody that is close around me, we're all in a safe space, like, that's all that matters. And so, speaking on like what I started to find is, yeah, there was a lot of pain that had still been there. Um, because like the last relationship I had was really harsh. I went through a lot of different things in that really, like, I can say that relationship helped me grow more than any other relationship, but it was also one of the worst relationships I had ever been in so many ways. However, I don't look at it like that, because everything I got to learn and what my takeaways were and what allowed me to work on myself. But there was a lot of healing that was there that I was going through. And, so for me, like, creating that other TikTok account that has, grown, it was very cathartic to write and to do these quotes and to come from that place. Now, now it's funny because I don't put out as much content over there as I was, because I have to put myself back into that place in order to write in the way that I want.
Right.
And I don't feel that way anymore.
Yes.
So it's funny. So I'm kind of like transitioning some things, but like, that account has always been about empowerment, but in a way that I'm going to take you, like, as a storyteller, I'm going to take you from that pain and I'm going to bring you into this other place that's empowering through words. And, like, people shift and go, oh, I didn't think of that way. And that was always where, I would hope to go with everything I would write.
Right.
Then I got to this point where I'm like, I don't feel like that.
Yeah, I never even would have thought of that. But it's totally, you're like a completely different, not a completely different person, but you are.
Mm-hmm.
You are, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so freaking awesome.
Yeah, well, and that's why, like, now, like, I have some ideas for what I'm doing next as far as that goes, because the quotes have gone over so well, that I'm going to write all of those out and create, like, a purchasable PDF of all of them. Like, I've gotten a lot of things, like, I've written them for other people. I've done voiceovers for other people. Like, it's been, like I said, it's been really cool to see how that account has been by being faceless for the most part. Like, now I have 2 videos where you can actually see me, but other than that, like, because I posted the wedding because I was like, this is important to me and this is going out there, and now you get to see who I am.
Right.
I mean, and really somebody could follow the links and you're going to find me. It's not hard.
Right.
But through that, like, it's just been such a journey. And like I said, if it wasn't for TikTok, I don't know that I would be sitting here right now in this capacity. Like, it would have taken me longer in order to get there, and it's already taken me long enough. Like I said, there was years back where I had felt that drive to look and to kind of, and I did switch over, but momentarily, and I was just like, I switched my dating profile and I was like, okay, there's nothing, and I stopped. Because then it's like, okay, well, what are my friends gonna think? What's this gonna be like? What's this? But with this, like, when me and Kai started, like, talking, it was different. I told my friends easy, like, oh, yeah, I have a date. They're like, okay, cool, who's it with? Then I said, and I would get this, like, oh, that's cool. Like, and you could see them look a little perplexed, and it's like, okay. And then absolutely, like, every single person who's met her has been like, we get it. Like, you can see the connection and you can see the vibe, and it just, like I said, it's just like, it really reminds me of the line from Deadpool. Like, you're crazy, much as my crazy. And it's like, 2 jigsaw puzzle pieces, like, coming together. And it really, that's what it's been like. And like I said, I mean, it's just very natural. And it's made everything easy. Like, really, that feeling of that things are meant to be easy, And it is.
It's so, yeah, it's so true. When you find your person, it's like something inside of you just like closes.
Mm-hmm.
It all like makes sense. And I can see it. I mean, I've never met her obviously, but I can just see the happiness in your just everything about you. And it's so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it is, and it's so neat to watch on, like, on watching it on her side and listening to her friends too say like, oh, we haven't seen you like this, or oh, you're doing this, because it's just, that's how it's supposed to be when you meet the person that you're, that's meant for you. And I don't usually use a word like supposed to, because then, we all have a different picture of what that can be like.
Right.
But what happened is we conform that picture within us to what everybody else wants for us. So because this picture becomes what everybody else wants, we don't really let ourselves go in the direction that we want to go. And that's where, I'm a firm believer as well, is that, like, when you're in the wrong place, because everything seems to go wrong. Those are those times when it's like nothing's going right for me. Body feels resistant. Like, you constantly have that feeling like something is off. and
Mm-hmm.
and when you're going in the path that for me, on that spiritual side, when you're going on that path that is meant for you, it just clicks. Things open up, doors open up, things that were always there. Now all of a sudden you see them, but they've been there, but you weren't open to be able to see them. And now it's just piece after piece just keeps coming in. And that's why, like, now, like, to have someone that's so supportive of me in whatever venture, like whatever crazy thing comes out of my head that day, and I'm like, nope, I want to create this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and it's like, and she just goes, okay, well, how can I support you? And it's just
Yeah.
like, and that's, it's just that flow. Like, whenever I would talk to people about flow, and then, like, I would get into my own life, and I'd be like, okay, you need to listen, like, because you're not in balance. And that's just the, like, that click. Incredible.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, we're so resistant to things because we think of one moment that's going to be hard. One moment that we may feel a little bit of pain, or we may get a little bit of judgment, or whatever it may be. I'm just looking at talking about the streaming. And we push it away, and it just breaks my heart of people who are just resisting their truth.
Yeah.
Because it's the easy thing to do right now, but only to the external. Like, it's not the easy thing for them. It's the easy thing for everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And that's where, like, I'm really big on self-talk. I'm very intentional with how I speak, because the way that spills over, and then the way it changes the thought process that goes with it, is intentional speaking and intentional thoughts can change absolutely everything. So when you're talking about things being hard and having that one hard thing, like, learning that just by saying, hey, dating's hard.
Yeah.
Well, you're affirming that it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, what makes that true? You had one bad experience, 2, 4, 10. I had a lot in my past. But it didn't mean that dating was hard. What it really meant was, like, I'm attracting something into my life that's not meant for me. What can I look at and what can I change in here that's going to help me feel like this is easy? And so from there, the answers are going to come by just changing the wording, because we keep reaffirming the negative over and over again every day.
Right.
And so with that, like, the more intentional I became, the easier things became. So being able to step out there and say, hey, this is who I am, there wasn't that, like, pause moment of, like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to say this. It was more like, hi.
Yeah.
this is it. Like, and because no matter what happens in my life, I know in that moment, I am owning exactly who I am, because that's the only way I know how to be anymore. Because anything else, I've done it. It didn't work.
Right.
And, you know, I've now in turn changed that past story to something that is empowering. Been able to look back and go, okay, those dating experiences that were, you know, hard, were they really hard? What did I learn from them? What did I gain? What from there did I want to change so I can have this future that's going to be full of growth, that is going to be full of great communication, that's being able to have somebody who I look at as being a best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that took those harder times. So, you know, it's being able to change all of that and just focusing on that, and that part of communication within myself, internally and then externally, that has been a game changer.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Um, how, I'm sure the kids did great, but what was it like telling the kiddos?
Well, so between all three, and so, you know, the ages range from 9 to 22. Um, my son was the first one that I talked to, and I I asked him just straight out. I was like, "Hey, like, you know, bless you." I asked him like, "Hey, like, you know, how would you feel if I was to go out on, you know, if I was to date a woman?" And he goes, "Are you?" And he starts smiling, and I'm like, "Well," I go, you know, I'm going to." And he goes, "Oh, I'm good with it." And I was like, okay. And I mean, and he was just so sweet, and just like, he just brought it in. And I knew in that kind of gave him permission to be who he is as
Right.
well.
Yes. Oh, I'm covered in goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so watching that, like, you know, and then my youngest one, she, it was a little bit different, but she's also had some of the developmental delays. So, you know, telling her, I mean, she was still excited, but you could tell it didn't quite click at first. And then once we talked about it, you know, she was good. Oldest one was kind of like, what? Like, what are you doing? And then after that, she was just like, she met her and she goes, Mom, I like her more than any guy you've ever dated. And I was just like, all right. And so now we, you know, the dynamic, like I said, within the house, it's very playful, it's very light. She comes from being raised in a pretty strict background and stuff, so it's nice, like the balance between us, because I'm the more lenient, easygoing, so I kind of need that. So it's a
Yeah.
really great balance, but like, she's great with them, and so they get to see this other side. So we just had a conversation about that the other day. Is it's actually really special that they get to grow up in an environment like this, where they get to see that, hey, I can be whoever I want to be. It's not anything weird. You know, we talk about things, you know, we're very open. Um, Whereas they haven't had as much like openness on some other sides in their life. So being able to feel free to be exactly who you are, I don't see a negative there.
No, no. And that's so, oh man. It's again, when you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And your kids, I'm sure, could tell in your voice, like, okay, mom's good. Mom's good. I'm good too. You know, and just like you said, your language and being intentional. And I mean, come on, it's 2020 already. It's about dang time that no one, like, you know, does that anymore.
Yeah.
And but I think we're in the right direction. And I
Yeah.
just appreciate you being so open about it and coming on here and sharing, because you inspire me every single day. I was scrolling TikTok and I was listening to someone. They were just like filming themselves. And I'm like, that's Summer's voice. It's the weirdest thing when that happens.
It is so weird to me, like, to know that the one, um, one of my most used ones is up to 60,000 times that audio has been used. Now, and this doesn't account for any time that somebody's taken that audio and re-uploaded it, and I, don't technically get the credit for it.
Right.
But what even blew my mind even more is some of these videos off of that one, just that one in particular, and it's happened on other ones, but that particular audio, I've had a couple million view people. So they've created videos, been a million views. And I'm like, I sat there one day and I'm like, oh my goodness, my voice has been heard so many times. So like when like I'll have people like message me, like, I just was coming across this video, just like you said, and it was like, wait, that's my voice. And it's just like, yeah. And it's funny because I never really thought of myself as having like this great voice, but I've, people are like, oh, it's very soothing, it's this. And I'm like, oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me.
No, it is. It's like someone you'd hear like my meditation, like just listen to Summer's voice.
Which is why, at some point in time, like I will have like, hypnosises out there for purchase and stuff like
Heck
that.
Yeah.
But I kind of, like I said, I mean, this year has been so crazy. Like I'm now at the point where things are kind of getting to that even place where I can create outside of like kind of just fitting it in here and there, like actually have dedicated time to sit down and do the things that really do light me up outside of what already lights me up. Because that's kind of where I am. It's like, hey, like I'm super happy over here. Yeah. Now let's bring in this other part. So, that 9 to 5 can really go out the window.
Yeah, it will. And it will happen for you. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, where can people find you? How do you serve people? Tell me all the things.
Well, right now I'm kind of in some interesting transition periods. So like Facebook is still always great. I'm not on Facebook as much anymore as well. I am on TikTok a whole lot more. So in addition, I mean, there's the Instagrams and everything. And now I am getting the website up and running. Like I got pieces of it up there. So like I can get email addresses at least logged in there, but I'm trying to get everything over to its own platform so that way I plan to, within this next year, kind of just house the different things that I create so that it's always available. And I'm at this place where the stuff that's going to be coming out is going to be a much lower price, and it's going to be there ongoing. So there's not that time frame that's there. It will have, I'll have videos. What I'm planning to do for January is doing I believe 4, possibly 5-part extensive into like a vision board, but not a vision board as in like, your average every day. What my plan is it's going to be, we're going to start off, we're going to break down everything that, you are looking to create in your life, not just manifest. What are you looking to bring in? And then we're going to work backwards into that. And so doing it in parts where, vision boards are great. However, if you don't go into that mindset piece of what actually makes them work, you're only going to get bits and pieces. For me, like, kind of became a little bit of like a vision board princess. Like, I love them. I love them. I love talking about them. And those are my favorite workshops to do in person with people. So now changing things a bit, since we aren't in that in-person world yet, is giving more to that. So that here we're going to create this, then we're going to go through basically that person who would have all of those things, what that would look like, what you would have to do and who you have to be. So we're going to kind of go through all of that, but in, like I said, in a 4-part thing. So we're not just sitting there, I'm not overloading with information. And, starting off on my favorite dates, which is like 111. So yes, because that's the day I also got married, is 11/1, and 111 is my number. So anytime I have the opportunity, that's where I go. So that's one of the first things that I'm going to have come out for 2021. So I figure like that's the best way to start off 2021, is creating that really powerful vision that can be for the internal, external, because visions boards don't have to be for just things. It's
Right.
how you want to feel, where you're going to go from there. You know, how would we speak to that person, ourselves? Like, how would we speak to that? So that's going to be coming out. So now, like I said, now that I have time that I actually get to focus on the stuff, I am so excited.
Yeah.
And then from there, like I said, it's just like I'm going to be putting all the quotes into place, because the quotes, getting them all written out and to be able to put that out there too. And again, it's going to be something that is just, it's lower in price, because I've loved writing them, and I do love the feedback that I've gotten. I mean, I had a woman about 2 weeks ago DM me and tell me thank you for the videos. And she said, I have to tell you, I I was I was contemplating suicide. She goes, I came across your videos, and she goes, I proceeded to watch every one of them. And she's like, I just wanted to tell you thank you for putting those out there. And I was like, oh, well, like, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, how do I respond back?
Right.
And,
Oh,
you know, I responded back very heartfelt, but it just, I've had, I've had moments where some of these messages that I've gotten have been so just like, they're emotional. And so, you know, that's where I'm like, I have the material there to create and put out, and just to write it all down. And I'm just, you know, kind of just seeing where things go. Because literally, I think that that's kind of the theme of my life. Let's just see where this goes. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Why not?
what's the best thing that can happen? Like,
Right. Yeah.
it works, you find happiness, but like,
Right.
try
It doesn't
go for
work,
it.
and you just get back up and do it
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Oh my gosh, lady. I just love you so much. And you do. You have such a beautiful way with words and presenting things, so simple, but that you never would think about. So anyone who wants help with mindset shifts, intentions, like, Summer is your gal. You will be blown away. You'll be blown away.
Yeah. I absolutely love that we finally got to have this conversation. And, you know, I just adore and love you as well. Like, I smile every time your stuff comes across. Cause, like, I mean, algorithms are algorithms. So, like,
I know.
sometimes,
I know.
like, I see stuff all the time, and then sometimes I see nothing. Like,
I just need to get, and I'm really bad at communicating lately. So, but know that I love you always. And I just feel like we can just pick back up where we leave off every single time.
Yep. That's the part about being soul friends. Like,
I know. I know. Gosh, but I appreciate you so, so much. I'm going to drop do you have your website, or do you want to send me that when you're done?
My website is really, it should come up under Summer Leanne.
Okay.
So it should be summerleanne.com. Like I said, it's probably, it's really just going to have a place to drop an email. So as kind of just get everything going, and that way, at least that way, you know, kind of pick up things, and
Totally. Yeah.
just learning how to do all of this stuff. So,
well, I'm here for you. Any way I can help you, I am here for it.
thanks.
Yes. And thanks again for jumping on here with me. We went way over, but I hope you're okay with that, because I can talk to you forever and ever and ever. But everyone have a good night. If you have questions, reach out to Summer. You will not regret bringing this woman into your world. So I love you very, very much. I'll talk with you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
What's happening? Can we talk about something real quick before you go on with your evening as planned? It's time to stop chasing. It's time to stop chasing the followers. It's time to stop chasing the big number. It's time to stop just chasing all of it. How about we embrace or chase you? What would it feel like to chase what you want to achieve in a way that feels good to you? What if we instead chased the impact that we want to make? What if instead we chased the message, the power of our story, all of those things, instead of things from outside that really don't define who we are one bit? You were put here for a reason. You were put here for a reason, and you have a way that is like no one else to deliver that purpose and that story, that thing that makes you you. That's what we want to chase. That's what keeps you motivated. That's when you find time to do the things that you want to do, and you see the results because of it. So if you have questions or would like more information on how to work with me so that you can tap into your thing, please reach out to me. I am here for you. I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode of The Pineapple Experience.